In the air conditioning business, one of the things we tend to get a lot of are service calls. People have an issue, and typically the first thing they'll do is call the service contractor. We love that because we like the business and we like the work. But the fact of the matter is, we do send invoices for that, and people aren't always happy when they get the invoice, particularly when a mechanic has written down, or the technician who's responded to the call writes down that he found the air conditioning was switched off. Okay? So there are some things that you can do before you place a service call that can save you some money. It can also give your service contractor a little bit more advance notice of what they might expect when they arrive on site. First of all, check the thermostat. There's probably a thermostat somewhere in the office that controls the equipment that's a problem. So if you have an issue with temperature, if there doesn't appear to be any heating or cooling, or there's no air movement, first thing to do is look at the thermostat. In today's world, most of the thermostats are of a digital nature, and they normally have some kind of display. If there's no display on the thermostat, then the chances are, for some reason, there is no power to the unit. So that leads you to your next item to check. You then have to try and find out where the breaker panel, which isolates the air conditioning unit that serves your space, is located. If you go to the breaker panel and you open it up, the air conditioning system should be, or systems should be identified. I say should be identified because in the perfect world, in the world that I ruled, they would all be identified. But unfortunately, we're not there yet, and I don't rule the world, and so they're not always identified. But let's assume that you're living in the almost perfect building. So you find that breaker panel and you open it up and you're able to see which unit, HVAC 3 or unit number 4, Northwest area, whatever, it may be identified. And if you're in a position of authority, you should know which unit serves your space. Check the breaker for that unit. Is the breaker closed? Is it in the position it's supposed to be in, the same as all the other breakers on the unit? Or has it tripped? If it's tripped, I don't recommend resetting it because it usually has tripped for a reason. That's a safety device. It's in order to prevent further damage being done to the system in the event of overamperage or too much of an electrical draw. I don't recommend resetting it. But if you explain to the service contractor when you place the service call that the breaker has in fact tripped, then he at least knows where he's going to start looking. They know there has been some electrical incident on the unit, and that's where they should commence their troubleshooting. So right away, you save them a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. That's the first two things you should check when you place a service call. Now, if all of the lights in the building are out and there's no power anywhere else, there's no point in placing a service call for your air conditioning contractor because it sounds like you're right in the middle of a power cut.